if I get a little pitchy, but if I don't, then everybody's in here nipples gonna get really hard because it's gonna be really great.
The Forever Story is JID's third studio album and obviously his best. Now, one thing before I start the whole video, I don't know if it's pronounced JID or JID. I'm just gonna say JID, so if that's wrong, put it in the comments. I don't care, it's not gonna change this video. Let's get into it. This was the first JID album that I listened to, and it's obviously his best. I don't think that's a controversial thing to say. I think this album not only showcases JID's rapping ability, but also his storytelling, wordplay, and lyrical ability. You have songs on here like Money and Systonym and Cody Blue 31, which all just showcase great storytelling in them, and they're all just amazing songs in general. Now, I'll get more into the songs later, but like I said, this is the first JID album I listened to. I did know who he was before this, but this really put him into the limelight, not only for me, but for a lot of people. And while I don't think this is my hip-hop album of the year, I'll get to this later, it is very close.
Kingpin, you a
whoa, shit. Bye bye, niggas insane. Try eye, nigga risky. Fuck from the wrist piece. Niggas shooting like the what?
This album is 15 songs long, one of them being an interlude. And I'm not going to talk about the deluxe version. I know it only adds one song, 2007. The song is good, but that's not going to affect this rating at all. Even if I did, it really wouldn't change it that much. I didn't listen to this album when it first came out, but I listened to it a couple of months after. I don't know why I didn't listen to it, because I was never like a huge JID fan. I never really listened to him. Like I said, this is my first album of his. But I'm kind of upset at myself for not listening to it when it came out, because these songs are amazing. You have a lot of different songs for a lot of different moods, like Radar, Just in Time, Surround Sound, Dance Now, all the hype music. Then you have kind of the slower, more melodic storytelling songs like Cody Blue and Systonym. And I think JID does such a great job, as you wouldn't really expect it from an album like this. With the first song being Radar, I kind of got in my mind and was like, okay, this is just going to be another, trap album or rap, whatever. But when I got to Cody Blue and when I got to the Systonym and all these slower songs, I was like, wow, this showcases JID's versatility and just how amazing he is at making music. Now, I will say, I don't think any of these songs are bad, but I do have some songs that I'm not a fan of that I don't go back to, and I actually only listen to again when I re-listen to this album. And really, that song is just in Time. I know I said multiple, but looking back at the track list, I realized that's the only song I didn't really like, and I didn't think it was a bad song. I just thought, it was probably very basic, and nothing stood out to me like the other songs did. And this album is filled with features. About 9 of the songs on this album have a feature, with them ranging from 21 Savage, Earth Gang, Lil Wayne. I think all the features do really well. 21 Savage is probably my favorite on Surround Sound. I think he's like great on that song. And my least favorite feature on this album is probably Lil Durk. I thought he did good. I really liked Brudanim until he came on, and no hate to him, of course. I don't think he's a bad rapper. I think he did fine, but out of all the other features, I think he does the worst, and he doesn't really fit on that song. I wouldn't say it ruined the song for me, because I think JID is amazing on that song. If Lil Durk wasn't on that song, that Brudanim would probably be my favorite on this album. So he kind of did ruin it for me. I know I'm going all over the place, but he was probably my least favorite feature. And of course, 21 Savage is probably my favorite on Surround Sound. I don't think many people will disagree. I know it's a basic pick, but I think he is amazing on that song. But I think some of these songs are just outstanding. Well, all of them are good. I think there are a few, few songs that really stand out amongst the others, with Dance Now, Cody Blue, and Systonym. I think are all some of the top songs that were released in 2020. And I think Cody Blue is probably the best song on this album objectively, and I wouldn't say it's my favorite. It's definitely up there, but I think it's probably tied for my favorite. I know, basic pick, wow, sue me, I don't care. It is probably objectively like the best song on this album. Now, there are a lot of talks with this being Hip Hop Album of the Year. It not being nominated for a Grammy is insane. I think that is crazy. Well, personally, it's not my Hip Hop Album of the Year. I would give that to Kendrick. It is a very close second, and it's so close to the point where they're kind of tied, really. I also think it is completely fine to give this Album of the Year because it is just amazing. It is truly phenomenal how JID came back with this album, and how not only me, but there are so many other people who are also obsessed with this. And I know, probably not saying anything new, this album is just great, and I highly recommend it.
Bang, 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 yeah.
Now, with all that being said, I'm going to give The Forever Story by JID a 9 out of 10. I know, you're probably like, what? I thought he was going to give it a 10. I know. I really enjoyed this album. Like I said, it was probably my second album of the year for hip hop, but I think there are some songs that just didn't do enough for me to give this a 10. While I said Just in Time is my least favorite, there are some other songs that I wasn't the biggest fan of, which I don't think are bad. I think they're good, but I just wouldn't really listen to them again. And another factor is the 15-song track list. It's pretty long, so it's harder for me to give it such a high rating. And of course, a 9 out of 10 is still very good. If you give it a 10, I understand. I completely understand why you would give this a 10, but for me, it just doesn't do that much. So I think a 9 is a very solid rating, and I am very excited to see what JID puts out next. But anyways, thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you like the new camera angle, comment that below. Have any other albums you want me to review? Comment that. Go join the Discord if you want to be involved in the community. There's a link in the description. I post questions and things for upcoming videos, and you'll get updates on when there's a video and when there's not a video and all of that stuff. Go join it. Admittedly, it's a pretty dead, but who cares? We don't like to think about that. Like the video, subscribe if you're new, turn on notifications, and have a good day. Goodbye, everybody.